Hello, hi, I am Celeste Wong from The Girl in the Cafe, and welcome to my Coffee and Conversations live radio spot with the amazing Lusophonica Cafe and international radio station. For those of you who are hearing or seeing me for the first time, I've been a professional in the specialty coffee industry for well over a decade, and I talk mainly about coffee, a bit of business, but also lifestyle, which includes quite a few things. And of course, I love to share conversations with incredible, inspiring people over a coffee, of course. Coffee and music connects us in so many ways through our emotions, and I believe that it brings out our humanity. So we're better to connect with great people over coffee and music in Cascais' very own cafe and live radio station, Lusophonica, where I'll be bringing you this, so to speak, coffee break show over the next few weeks and maybe even through the next year. I hope that you get inspired and get all the good vibes, because I'll be interviewing inspiring people from all walks of life, from coffee, music, art, fashion, and much more. They will be choosing songs based on 4 questions that I ask them. So stay tuned to find out, because so far the playlists have been awesome, and I can't wait to hear my next guest's playlist. So today we are going to get right into it and start with our second session with my guest, who is none other than fashion designer Robert Geller, who has had an incredible international career, which I can't wait to hear more about. Hi. Hi, Robbie. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
I think maybe let's first start with telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do. And
I'm originally from Germany, but I studied in the States, and then sort of started my career in New York. I started working at Marc Jacobs in 2001. I was there for about 2 years. And then I started my first brand in 2003, which was a menswear brand with another guy that I had met at Marc Jacobs, and we called it Cloak. And it was super exciting time. Pretty soon we had a really cultish, great following. We were in the great stores and sort of built a name for ourselves. But I was only 25 years old, and running the business was quite difficult. It was hard to make money from it.
Yeah, so you had already been to Marc Jacobs, and then you
we went out on our own.
You went out on your own.
The two of us. Yeah,
oh my
super
God,
young.
that's so ballsy.
It was, my partner was 10 years older, so he had a little bit more experience, but both of us were designers. We didn't really know how to deal with production. Or the financial side of it. Mm-hmm. But we had all of the success from the outside. We were in the great stores, we were in all the magazines and stuff. So it helped me sort of launch my career. Yeah. But I left after 3 years because I just I didn't want to go and then, borrow $300,000 from the bank. And it was just too much for me at that point.
It's quite interesting to see, firsthand, I guess, for you, that the sort of from the outside, how things can look, and then what's really going on. What was that kind of
There's a lot of that in the fashion industry. I think there's only a few brands that are really making money.
What do you think of that?
I think it's a very attractive place to be. People want to be in the fashion industry, and people come into it with money. And it also takes some time to get the company there to make money. So the ones that have lasted for time are the ones that have been able to sustain themselves, because it's just also a very expensive thing to do.
Yeah.
To put these collection after collection and to have your fashion shows and all of these things.
What made you want to get into fashion?
It's funny. I went to study photography.
Oh, yeah?
My dad's a photographer, and sort of
cool.
what I wanted to do. But it was my time. I went to the Rhode Island School of Design, which is a really great design school in Providence, in the States. And I'd worked for 2 years as an assistant for a photographer. I'd grown up in the studio, basically. And I got there and I said, okay, I've got these, after the foundation year, I have these 3 years to really learn whatever I wanted. And I was quite advanced with the technical stuff in photography already. And I said, let me try something new. Yeah. I wanted to go into fashion photography. I was interested in fashion.
Right.
I thought that I was lacking the illustration skills a little bit. But then during that foundation year, I was drawing a lot, and I really learned that I could do it. Transferred into fashion design and graduated from there.
Oh, amazing. Well, let's get into the first song, actually. So my first question to you is, what is the perfect song to drink coffee to. And I've got we've both got our coffees here
Yes,
right
the
now.
best coffee
Cheers.
in
Do you
this
want
whole area.
Do you want to introduce what your perfect song to drink coffee is?
And we'll talk about why afterwards. Should we do
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll definitely be asking you that.
The first song is a song called Cassio by Jungle. And it's very different than the three other songs, but it's just a great mood song.
Awesome. And here it is.
Playing on my heart just like a Cassio.
And that, again, that happened to me last time. Finished really abruptly. We get talking in between the songs and we get a bit carried away. But that was Cassio by Jungle, which was released in 2018 on their second album, Forever, by British neo soul band. So tell me, Robbie, why did you choose that song to drink coffee to?
So for me, coffee represents sort of the morning and how you start your day. And within our house, we have 3 girls, my wife. We like to create a nice mood in the morning. So I first heard the song probably like a few months ago when we were having dinner with our mutual friend Imogen and Lachlan. And they played it in this restaurant called Denoy. It's my favorite restaurant in Lisbon.
I don't know if I've been there yet.
It's
one to
really
go on the
great.
list.
Yeah, Denoy. And I just Shazammed it or whatever, and then I started listening to it.
Ones you're like, what's this?
And then I started listening to it in the morning, sort of taking a shower, at breakfast with the kids, and in the car going to school. But I just associate it with sort of hanging out, having a good groove, drinking a coffee, and starting your day the right way.
Yeah, it's really important. Like, you do so much thinking and just so much sort of like, starting your day, like starting the day with like your intention, or you're either like drinking, I was thinking about this yesterday, like you're either drinking your coffee, sort of thinking about stuff and solving a problem, or you're having a conversation with someone, or you're just like actually like in the moment, and like as soon as a song comes on, you can just be transported, right?
Absolutely.
And it can really change your mood, and it can change the whole like vibe of the day, really.
Yeah, and I find it with myself, but also with my wife and kids, like if we kind of set the tone in the morning to have a good time, it lasts through the day. If we're stressed and we're late and we're running to the door while yelling at each other, it takes a lot to get out of that. So
it does. What is your favorite go-to coffee in the morning?
At home, what I make?
Or what do you make at home, and what would you order going at Lusophonica?
Oh yeah, no, I love a cappuccino with oat milk. I'm a little bit lactose intolerant. I've actually gotten to really like the taste of oat milk, but yeah, I like a nice sort of creamy, foamy coffee in the morning.
Cappuccino.
Cappuccino is my way to go, I think. Yeah. Do
you make it, and you make it at home as well?
I do, but not nearly as good.
Well, that's good to hear that the professionals are keeping it real.
Sure.
So, why did you move to Lisbon?
We came here just over 2 years ago because we wanted to have an adventure year, the family. We've been in New York, Anna and I, my wife. We've been there for about 20 years.
Wow, 20 years?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that you were there for that
time.
long. Oh, wow.
And, our kids were like 9, 6 and 4, 3 at that point. Just felt them growing up super fast. And we wanted to take a year away just to travel around and see the world, see Europe. And so we picked Lisbon as our base because my wife's from Brazil, so we all speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
It's sunny, it's in Europe, and I'd heard so many good things about it. So that's kind of how we came here, and then we fell in love, and almost
you're still here.
We're still here, and we don't want to leave.
Oh, that's so awesome to hear. So should we get into the next song? So my next question, it's a nice curly one for my guests. What is a song that represents or reminds you of the most challenging time in your life? So what song have you chosen today?
I've chosen the song I Can't Escape Myself by The Sound.
Let's play that, and then I'm going to definitely ask you about it and why afterwards. Let's go. Myself. And that was I Can't Escape Myself by The Sound, an English post-punk band from their 1980s debut studio album Jeopardy. Actually, almost 41 years to the day. I think it was November the 1st that it came out.
No way.
Yeah, a little bit of research there.
That's good.
So can you tell me a little bit why you chose this song and what was going on for you to choose this as your most challenging
this was
time in your life?
Sort of a very challenging time, work-wise. Because after I had left Cloak, I had then started my own brand, just on my own, called Robert Geller.
Oh, right, yeah.
And that was in partnership with a Japanese production company. They had actually contacted me, having seen what I had done with Cloak, and wanted to work with me. So that was a really great situation, because then they would handle the production, they would handle the finances, and all the things that I really wasn't that good at.
And as a creative, the creatives don't really like to do all that other
we were trying, but like with the first brand, but it's just so much to do it all. So this was a really great partnership where I could concentrate on what I do well, and they could concentrate on what they do well. And that's where I think the base of the success really, really was. So we had we had the North American market, which sort of my wife and I focused on in terms of distribution and things, and they had the Asian market. So Japan was a huge market for us, America, of course, Canada and stuff. And everything was going very well, which the next song is a little bit more about the happy times. But this is about a challenging time. And one morning, actually the morning after the Spring Summer 2013 show, I came into the office early in the morning because we were supposed to ship out all of our samples that we had in the show back to Japan so they could start their sales season. And there were two Japanese guys that I was working with at the time that were also kind of connected to the company in Japan. They were in the office waiting for me, and they told me that the president had just been arrested and that the company was on lockdown, seized by the government, basically.
What?
Yeah, like crazy. He had done some super shady stuff after the Fukushima incident. Like, claimed more damages to his company than there really were.
Right.
Had nothing to do with us.
But you didn't know about any of this.
No, it had nothing to do with it. He was the one it wasn't even part of what we did.
Yeah.
His company was a big company. We were a small part of it. So completely surprised and completely just sort of like, if we had sent those samples the day before, the brand would have been done.
They'd be done, yeah.
We would have been done. We wouldn't have the samples. We wouldn't have anything. So from one day to the next, we were basically without the production partner, without the financial partner, and over the next 3 months we were able to find a new partner. We were able to get all of the, you have to know all the buttons, all of the makings, all the patterns, all the things. They had all of that.
Oh, so you didn't have any? Did you not have access to it?
No, but we had good friends in the company that would really they snuck in at night to get the stuff for us, like crazy. Really, we could make a movie about how this. And we were able to deliver everything to all the stores on time, the season, and we didn't really miss a beat. It's crazy, but super, super challenging time. I mean, we didn't sleep. I didn't sleep for many, many nights. And,
I can see you reliving this almost in front of me, and it's it's interesting how it's so visceral when it affects you so much, mentally as well.
Yeah, definitely, because fashion is such if you don't deliver for one season, the stores put somebody else, and you're not coming back.
And that's also it's designed for a season, right?
Yeah, definitely. It would have been. I mean, that would have been gone. But you can't just say, okay, sorry, the season we can't deliver. We'll be back next season. It doesn't work like that with stores. So they need to fill it, and they'll fill it with somebody else. So it was so important for us to continue. And really, the timing. If it was the day before, they would have the government would have just seized the sample and done.
What have you learned from that experience?
I think it gave me confidence. There's not many things in your business that could go that much more wrong. And because of the amazing people that we had met, and because of the great people that were working on this project, where you're able to get through it, but it was tough.
I was going to say, it must have been such an experience to go through all of that mentally, and then also come out of it on the other side feeling like you could do anything, because it was like, at the time it sounded like an impossible feat, right?
It did, yeah.
Do you have anything, like, do you have a conscious process, like, when now that you've gone through that, are you aware enough, like, what's your attitude to challenges, both personal and professional, like if something confronts you?
I think through experience and through time, and through times like this, challenging times, or times when you get challenged or challenge yourself and you come through it on the other end, it just builds your confidence sort of naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And so each time you approach a new challenge, you feel more confident that you can handle it. So you get less nervous, you get less sort of distraught by these challenges. I think it's a process of life. I think that's why people usually, as they get older, they start to feel more confident in themselves. And
is there a conscious process for you? Like, do you sort of stop and go, okay, I know that there's this like difficult thing coming up, and do you, like, is there something specific that you tell yourself, or is it just more, is it kind of become a bit more natural and organic?
I don't have a process for it. I do very conscious breathing if I get nervous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just a very sort of slowing down. I mean, this is very basic, but it's like magical. If you get really nervous in a situation, which sometimes it happens, you just feel anxious, sit down for like 5 minutes, and then take the time to sort of breathe in for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, breathe out for 5 seconds, breathe. So this is really slowing down your breath, and it helps you just to focus on that, and it takes away. I mean, this is really like as basic as it gets. It's just all these different kind of breathing techniques that you can get into, but it helps to calm your nerves. It's really incredible.
I'm going to definitely take that one on board. Let's all take a breath right now together. Well, let's talk a little bit more about... let's not talk a little bit more. I was going to say, let's talk a little bit more about the happier times. What is your... So my next question for every guest is, what is a song that represents or reminds you of your most victorious or happy time in your life?
So the song that I picked for this is Husk by the band Blitz.
Sorry. Do you want to repeat that?
Husk by the band Blitz.
That was me. And that was Husk by Blitz from the 1994 album, The Complete Singles Collection. Another English post-punk rock band from actually Derbyshire in England, formed in 1980. I just found a sad fact, though. On February the 10th in 2007, Alan Paul Nigel Miller, the guitarist, and the only member left after the breakup, was struck by a car on impact and died on impact while wandering into the freeway after a show in Austin, Texas. Yeah, he was only 48 years old.
That's horrible.
Yeah. So that was...
Don't go to Texas.
No. Well, don't drive into the freeway, or on the other side of the road. Why did you choose this song? This is actually, it is a...
I think the compilation album came out in the 90s, but it's originally from the 80s. You can tell sort of the last two songs, but generally I love the post-punk era. It's
I can tell.
Lots of good music. But I chose it. This was played in, I think it was 2012. Yeah, 2011 was the show that we played it on, but it was for the 2012 collection. And it was just a time when everything seemed to be going super well in my life. 2010, our first daughter Luna was born, and then Anna was pregnant in 2011. We had our second daughter Anise in 2012. So family was super good. But we had also in 2012, I won the CFDA Award, which is...
What is the CFDA Award?
The CFDA Award is...
As I see it on your Instagram, and I'm like, I don't actually know what that stands for. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, it's the Council of Fashion Designers of America.
Okay,
So it's the Council for Fashion.
Oh, it's a huge a huge award, right?
It's the biggest
Fashion.
award there. It's the Oscars of fashion. It is
Yeah.
as big as it gets. And so there was a night of celebrities and all the big designers, and everybody was there. I was very honored to be nominated. I was one of 3, and then they called my name and they get the winners. It was just insane, like really
Wow.
insane, because
What was the process? 'Cause there's 3
they
sort of
nominate. So
nominated.
for the award, all the CFDA members, which includes everyone from like Ralph Lauren to the biggest Marc Jacobs, all the biggest American designers, but then also I think there's 300 members of the press that are international press that are part of it, and they vote on sort of like who they think are the most exciting designers at the time.
Wow.
And then they pick 3 finalists, and then they vote again to see who is the winner. And so it was a huge night. I remember sitting next to my wife in the front row, holding her hand, and then they called my name, and I just went like numb, like completely. Like, I don't remember what I said. I remember like you give a speech up on stage, and
You didn't know your breathing technique back then, did you?
yeah, no, I didn't actually. It's true, but I remember sort of being backstage with this super heavy, beautiful statue in my hand, being like, "What just happened? It's insane."
And that opened up a lot of opportunities for you. And
Yeah, it was
yeah.
like another step in all of these. It takes a lot of little steps to get to somewhere where you really have success. It's lots of little victories along the way. But this
Lot of challenges.
Yeah, lots of challenges, of course. But it's this was a really big one. It's sort of like, wow, I had to check myself. Like, that's in terms of the awards, right? I mean, you can say, what does that mean? An award is opinion, but it's opinion of the American fashion industry, and like they thought that I was everybody from Anna Wintour to Diane von Furstenberg to like all the leaders of the apparel industry, and then the head of the magazines, and so I mean, and my peers, my fellow designers, and I think that is maybe even more important,
That's so cool. And that's led you into doing quite a lot of collaborations. Like, what kind of collaborations have you done that we might
So
know
the first sort of bigger one was in 2009. I had won an award, which was the best new menswear designer in America, which is sort of given for up and coming talent. Super awesome.
Yeah.
But that was in collaboration also with the CFDA, but also with GQ magazine. And through that, I was able to do a collaboration with Levi's.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, growing up in Germany, Levi's was just the coolest. I think from like age 13 to 18, I just wore Levi's 501s, like old wash ones.
Classic.
All the time. And so to be able to go into the archive in San Francisco and to look at all this stuff and to really build something beautiful with them was super cool. So that was one. I mean, I've done a ton. The shoe brand Common Projects, which is, I mean, it's really successful. It's super big, but started at the same time as my brand. They're really super cool shoes, and you go to any of the best sort of fashion stores in the world, they'll have the Common Project shoes. But starting in 2009, I started working with them, and it's been like an ongoing collaboration because I just think that they make the coolest shoes. I work really great friends, but then also like when Kanye West launched Yeezy, he called me, and I consulted with him for a year and a half before the launch. So I worked with him side by side too.
Because that's obviously a huge one.
Yeah, I mean, he was also super famous, but
knows,
Yeezy became really big as a brand.
Yeah.
And that introduced me to a lot of that sort of whole world with like Virgil Abloh and Jerry Lorenzo, who's become a really good friend of mine, who does Fear of God. And there's a really super cool group of people that were working with him at that time. I
have to ask, because I'm sure this is on everybody else's minds listening now. What was Kanye West like?
He's awesome. For me, like,
we're on public radio.
I like him much more than I thought I would from his sort of public persona before. He always treated me super well, and we became really good friends. So, yeah, I really like him. I think that some of his political things are, I don't know. I don't need to talk about that. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, each to their own, right? We've all got our own opinions.
yeah. And then just the latest one that I'd done was with Lululemon, the big sort of used to be more of a yoga brand, but now it's all kinds of sort of active lifestyle. Which
is perfect because you're here in Lisbon, and when I first met you, we were surfing.
Totally, yeah. I mean, it's a super good brand. And I loved working with them. Worked with them for a year doing a collaboration. So it was a co-branded product that was launched all over the world, like over 250 stores. First big collaboration I'd ever done on the menswear side.
I was just thinking your wife would be really happy with that. If
She
you're doing
got some of the pieces,
stuff,
because there's some stuff that's really unisex. So she definitely. It's a second collaboration we did women's wear as well, actually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, she has a lot of this stuff.
I think it's really inspiring that you're able to have like so much going on in your life, both professionally and personally, and being able to like be happy and kind of have such a strong sense of commitment and and values. What was it like growing up?
For me, growing up?
Yeah, in Germany.
Yeah, I had my parents separated when I was quite young, but they've been best friends ever since. So I was very lucky that even though they weren't meant to be together, they were both there for me, and we still spent Christmas all together and stuff like that. I moved around a lot. I was born in Hamburg and grew up there for a while. First with my dad, and then I moved to LA with my mom and my stepdad for a few years, then moved back to Germany. I lived in Paris for a while, so kind of moving around a lot.
But always having like quite a strong
Always
foundation.
having a really strong... I have a brother and a sister that I'm very close with. Nice. My whole family's coming here for Thanksgiving in 2 weeks. So it's just a sign of like we like being with each other. And I think that gives you a lot of confidence and hold to do things that might be a little bit more scary. I mean, like going on and starting my own company with 25. Probably wouldn't have done it if I didn't feel like no matter what happened, I still had people that really cared for me and stuff. So family to me is first, for sure. Like if I had to choose between my career and my family, I wouldn't even have to think about it. But I'm lucky that I've been able to do both,
I love it. Love it. Let's get into the next song. My last question and the last song for today is what represents or reminds you of either Portugal or home. So I'm letting my guests choose. So what's your song today?
This is for Portugal, which right now it's definitely, I consider my home. It's the song Looking for the Magic by the Dwight Twilley Band.
That was Looking for the Magic by the Dwight Twilley Band. It's like a funny one to say. From the 1997 album Twilley Don't Mind. Actually, I think he was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which my ex-boyfriend was
Oh, really?
from.
I didn't know that.
So I'm not sure how I feel about that song. But tell me why this is a great song that reminds you of... Well, does it remind you of home or... Portugal.
But it's home. I think Portugal's home. When we first moved here, we spent a lot of time driving around Europe, basically. Yeah. We drove up from here and drove to the north of Portugal, through Spain, and then once we drove all the way from Sweden back home. So Sweden, Denmark, Hamburg to Germany, France, Spain, all the way back. And so there was this playlist that we're listening to all the time. And this was the first song. So whenever I hear this song, it reminds me of the first kind of months of being here and just falling in love with this country.
It reminds me actually of I don't know, the beat or something reminds me a little bit of I'm trying to think of it's the Flying Nuns. One of their bands, like Tally Ho type. I can't remember. I'll have to play it for you sometime, but I think you'll really like it. Actually, from my hometown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was quite a big underground sort of punk scene in Dunedin, New Zealand. But yeah, that sounds beautiful. And so, what's the plan here?
I mean,
what do you love about Portugal the most?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to love, but it's just the general The atmosphere, the vibe of you wake up in the morning, and most days it's just beautiful out. This ocean and palm trees and like, you know, places that sort of look like a vacation place, but it doesn't feel vacationy. It's just real. Like you can live your life here, and people are here all the time. It's not like you come here and it's not summer and people have gone. It's not like that at all. But there's this real feeling of like, first of all, it's a magical place, but it's sort of still being discovered in a way, and it's so much potential.
We were talking about
in everything, there's lots of really cool sort of young creative people doing cool things. But it feels like it's at the beginning of something, and that's what I really like about here. I love the idea of being at the beginning of something that's really going to grow, and people are starting to pay attention to Lisbon from all over the world, and people are talking about it a lot. So I really love this idea of like being in a place where I can be a part of something really special and new.
Yeah, me too. That's a good note to go off. So you don't get to have all the fun. I've tried to actually. I was trying to look for a song to play us out today, and I was like, no, that's not right. And I was trying to get like the vibe of, you know, and then I was going to do like a punk one, and then I was like, oh, it might be too much. But anyway, let's see how we go here. I have chosen to play out today's session. Thank you, Robert Geller. But before I introduce that, where can people find you on social media?
On Instagram, that's sort of my main social media. I mean, it's also on Facebook. It's just Robert Geller, RobertGeller. Pretty easy to find.
Great. and you'll be able to, like, if you can join up with me, the Girl in the Cafe, and Lusophonica, we will repost this video and this audio somewhere at some point. We'll let you know, and we'll also obviously tag Robert Geller in all of our socials. So I'm the Girl in the Cafe with hyphens all in between, and you can see all my stuff at thegirlinthecafe.co.uk. And obviously, thank you so much to Lusophonica Cafe and live radio station online at lusophonica.com. I'm going to play us out to One More Cup of Coffee by the White Stripes, their 1999 cover version of Bob Dylan's song. Let's go.